So this year I decided to give one working week of my business life to 5 organisations. I wanted to broaden my mind, improve my skills and try and add value to that organisation. So today I'm stepping into the shoes of Richard Corbridge, who is the CIO of the Health Service Executive, Ireland's National Health Service. So for the rest of the day you will see me visit the National Rehabilitation Hospital and I'll be doing the job that Richard does.
JSB Talks Digital.
So Richard, first of all, you invited me to step into your shoes for one day as CIO of the HSE. Why?
I guess it was a good way of getting more people to understand the different things that a CIO does, but in particular in Ireland, the different pressures that the HSE is under. I think we're very quick to look at the HSE and find the fault with it, and actually I've never been proud of an organisation and the people who work here. I think whether it's IT, whether it's frontline staff, whether it's administration, whether it's management, the HSE needs to have more and more people understand the pressure and the excellence that the HSE delivers during that time.
So everybody, thank you so much for having me here. As you know, I'm stepping into the shoes of Richard Corbridge today, the CIO of the Health Service Executive. Richard is leading out on Ireland's e-health strategy and also digital transformation in the public sector or even in the health sector. So I'm really interested to find out how digital technology is helping you guys at the National Rehabilitation Hospital. I know you also have a new hospital project that you're very excited about, and I know that those of you around the table are from different areas of the hospital, and we will get the opportunity to meet with some of your patients later. So thanks for having me, and I'm really looking forward to learning more from you and using you guys and the hospital as a digital case study.
We've done it with very few resources. I've highlighted the ones that were asterisks where the CIO office have supported us to refresh our infrastructure because it was pretty poor up a few years ago. So we totally ripped out our network. We put in new telephony, all new desktops, and a new server infrastructure. So the whole thing has been replaced to make it fit for purpose because it was state of the art, as our CEO likes to say. The Office of CIO as well helped us with our business case for an EPR. EPR, obviously, we're a national service, so we're based over on the East Coast, but our patients come from far and wide, Donegal, Kerry to Dublin. And we really do need an EPR, and we need one now, but the eHealth Ireland project coming on stream has been manna for us because it's clashed with our need. Also, we work in a multidisciplinary team, I suppose, environment, and also we don't deliver our care at the bedside necessarily. Obviously nursing do, but all the therapists do it in therapy spaces. So the chart and information can follow the patient around the building. So you have people treating patients without access to the up-to-date information, which is crucial and is required. Obviously an EPR will solve that problem. We've actually started that journey. We've had our first project steering group meeting. Katie here is our project manager who's flown in from the HC for us. We've also done some other small enough but really important projects. So we have a telehealth remote monitoring link with the Mater Hospital, with an intensivist in the Mater Hospital, back into our high dependency beds here. So if we have an issue with a patient, they can support us with that. We also have our assistive technology clinic, and we hope to build out more of that into our new building. And we've an ongoing HR transformation project, which has basically put the whole of HR and even down to clocking all digital. So we've taken a lot of paper out of the system, which makes it much more efficient, and we have up-to-date data as well on staff movements and leave all that kind of stuff. And then we have our new hospital design, which is complete. But I let Siobhan and Co talk about that, but that's really exciting, and it's the enabler as well in some respects for a lot of what I need to do. We have a building where I want to put Wi-Fi in a particular ward. It was going to take a week to drill holes to get cable in. So now a new purpose-built building with all this, with technology built into it from the ground up, from the design up, is going to really support what we do.
This morning's meeting with the NRH team focused on the challenges being faced by Ireland's National Rehabilitation Hospital. But they also discussed how digital and technology is actually a catalyst for work practice change and cultural change. They're actually rethinking how they do their work. We also discussed the person-centric design of their new National Rehabilitation Hospital, which is going to be fully complete in 2020.
So we're hopeful that we're going to start works on site in July. We've started some enabling works with car parking and service diversions, which have kind of been a little bit of it's a good disruptor. Gets people used to a bit of dirt and noise and, where do I park my car today? But the main event kicks off in July, and then we have 31 months before the building opens. So at the moment it's a 27-month building programme and a 4-month commissioning and handover and equipping. We brought the patient through this entire building. Mary
remember
took us 2 days.
Mary was
Our persona Mary took us, was it 2 days?
Yes,
Solid.
I did
Of
the
a
record.
group of people sitting around talking about Mary's journey.
She walked through the building, met the therapist, met the nurse, engaged. They were with their family. They decided they'd had enough in the ward. They're going to go back for coffee. A child had visited Mary. What were the challenges that were there, and what was actually working well within that, and maybe we should replicate it in other areas. And that really brought things that you would never think from reading regulations. You would not get those. You would never get to think of, oh, Mary, is in a wheelchair and now but where you put the buttons a little bit higher. Or there's loads of other things that you don't actually consider until you're walking through a building and seeing the challenge. And Mary's, and see, these are the things that Mary may need or want, or Mary's relative. So it wasn't just Mary, it was Mary's relatives. It was the therapist working with Mary. How does the therapist Mary's gone to coffee? How do I access Mary now? So it took everybody that Mary was likely to require, and that really made it much, much clearer and got the detail of the building.
One of the kind of areas that we're looking at is, the difficulty we have in narrow corridors, lack of space. People, they need a lot of space to turn, to move, to be able to circulate around the building, to get through the building, especially with the automated chairs, which are getting bigger and bigger. And so our footprint of our building has to reflect that. So our circulation spaces are bigger than probably what you'd see usually in an acute hospital. These buildings were built like fortresses, and so in terms of demolitions or widening or access, these are the difficulties that people are facing, and trying to navigate through the hospital is really difficult and really expensive to retrofit, so it's not good value for money. One of the things that is a key factor in terms of our logistical difficulties is this is our main lift. So what we have is all patients now are going down for their lunch, they're going to therapies, they're coming from the wards, they have to get to a different part of the building, and this is their only way of getting up and down through the building. It's really slow. There's one for a number of patients. You can imagine here it's like Piccadilly Circus. So the new building, we have 6 lifts in the new building that are just for patient use, to allow people to move quicker through the building, because stairs for a lot of people isn't an option. We need a lot of equipment for people who have unique requirements, and so one shower chair may not suit every patient, so you have a couple of different types in order for people to be comfortable seating. So you have to store those somewhere. And as our service has grown and we're meeting people's unique requirements, we need additional equipment to do that. And our difficulty is the building isn't expanding to allow us to do that. So we have difficulties in trying to appropriately place equipment. And essentially this is our hydrotherapy pool. It was built in 1972. And this is one of the elements of the building that we're replacing, because the infrastructure is just so old. The cost of refurbishment now would be it's unaffordable really. So a new build is one of it. So we have a hydrotherapy pool and a lap pool as part of our new building. So we're currently standing on the site of the first phase of the new NRH building. Essentially right under my feet will be where the hydrotherapy service will be located. Our building will be connected at this point over here on 2 levels, and we'll have lift access from our old building into our new building with a link corridor bringing us into our new site. Essentially, as far as you can see, this sports hall will be demolished as part of the building works, and it will be delivered as one of the first elements of our building. We hope that our new sports hall will be open a year once the construction starts in order for that building to be demolished.
This innovative purpose-built environment actually marks, and it's very symbolic, that it's moving the National Rehabilitation Hospital from 1916 to 2017 and bringing it into a new century and into the digital age. So I'm now going to meet Jim, and Jim's story is one that is very much like the other 108 patients here at the NRH. From working as a career engineer to being an active father and husband, Jim's life changed in one day. He had a life-changing accident at his home when he was doing some DIY. But Jim tells me how the National Rehabilitation Hospital and also the technology that they are using has actually recycled his life, and how he's now optimistic for the future. Jim, tell us a little bit about your backstory.
Well, a year ago, almost April 2016, I stupidly fell off a roof and broke my neck, and I ended up 2 months in the Mater, in the ICU, and I've been here since June of 2016. When I arrived here, the overriding thing was pain. I was in pain all the time, and I couldn't use my hands, couldn't feed myself, couldn't move my shoulders. And Fiona, Becky, the other OTs, Ronan and Joanne, the physiotherapists, have worked miracles on me. I had no preconceptions or preconceived ideas about the NRH. I didn't even know about them. But when I got here first, I think I thought that it was a repository for broken people, you know, that they were going to be somehow taught to adapt to their new situation. They had to use a wheelchair or whatever. But it's not like that at all. It's recycling. It's getting people back to what I call the world of humans. What I perceive myself as a disabled person, as somehow a little bit less than human. So I perceive the outside world as the world of humans, you know.
Right.
But what they've done for me here is they've given me the confidence and the ability to rejoin that world as a human.
And what sort of technologies have helped your rehabilitation?
Well, the one that leaps to mind immediately is the Dragon, the voice recognition software.
Okay.
Which, when I couldn't use my hands, was very important to me. This was going to give me the opportunity to maybe tell my story to a computer.
Yeah.
During the California Gold Rush of 1849, miners sent their laundry to Honolulu for washing and pressing, full stop. Due to the extremely high costs in California during these boom years, it was deemed more feasible to send the shirts to Hawaii for servicing.
Do you think about the future, Jim?
Yes, I do, a great deal. I have 3 children, wife. My house has been restyled, modified to suit me. That's down to my wife, who's a great innovator as well. And I'd like to write. I've always felt that I would like to write, but I never really had the time. Now I have the time. And also Spinal Injuries Ireland may be able to get me a course that would bring in my knowledge base, you know, and maybe an equivalency course which would qualify me perhaps as a counsellor or you know, peer advice, whatever, something like that. So that's what I'd like to do in the future.
What this device here is something that if you can't use your hands to touch a screen, but you have some sort of movement somewhere in your body, be it your hand, your foot, your head, you can put this into a position where you can reach it with whichever part of your body you can move, and it can control the device like a remote control. So I'll show you an example of if you wanted to turn on a radio. So I'm going to go into the music section and we're using scanning, and I press the button when I see the function that I want. So I'm going to turn it on. So now you can see that the radio is on. So now I want to play the CD that's in the radio. And if anyone hates country music, they can also turn it off very quickly after that as well.
Okay, so this is a eye gaze device, and basically it's using my eyes and following my eyes to control the computer. So on the left hand side I've got options for mouse clicks, so I want to double click and I'll go into the internet. So basically I look at the icon that I want to go to after looking at the double click icon, and it's going to bring up the internet for me now. So a handy thing to do for someone using this type of device is to set up regular bookmarks for them. So if I wanted to go into a bookmark there, something regular, I'm going to bring up the eHealth website now. And there we are, we're in. And that's all done just with the way my eyes are moving, looking at the different icons on the screen to help me do that.
So John, we've had a wonderful morning with your team and meeting patients and seeing how digital and technology is really making an impact in your daily working lives and in the lives of patients now and into the future. So if I came back here in 5 years' time, knowing how fast technology is evolving, you'll be in your state-of-the-art hospital. What will life look like then, and how different do you think it will be?
It's a big question. I guess at that point we'll be fully on our journey towards fully implementing our electronic patient record, which will have a major impact. So that will provide functionality and data at the point of care. And I suppose mobility will be a very big aspect of what we do. We're actually building the building, as you know, out to support that. So I'd see staff being enabled to deliver the care that they want to deliver and have the tools at their hands at the point of care.
So in your view, how has technology transformed the National Rehabilitation Hospital and I guess the future of healthcare for its patients?
See, I think in NRH in particular, it's about the future. The NRH isn't a technology advanced hospital. There's nobody ever trying to pretend that's the case. They have an aged infrastructure, they have an aged system within there. They make the best of the technology they've got to ensure patient care is as efficient as it possibly can be, and that patients are at the centre of what they do. I think for me, the beauty of technology is the speed it's moving and the speed that Ireland and the health system is now starting to be able to adopt that. And I think NRH is probably our best example of planning the build of a new hospital to ensure it's a digital new hospital when it's there, and involving patients and staff in that journey, in the step towards those doors opening and it becoming the new NRH hospital.
So I'm standing on the site of the new Phase 1 18,000 square metre facility that starts in July. The new green digital shoots of this new National Rehabilitation Hospital will provide innovative and digital-led healthcare for patients, for families, and for the healthcare staff that work here. I've had a remarkable day at the NRH to meet Jim, to meet with Fiona, to meet with John, to meet with the whole project team who've shared with me how digital and how the office of the CIO and the work of Richard Corbridge and his team, and ultimately the health service executive, is actually embracing digital technology and embracing transformation in the health service.
JSB Talks Digital.
Give me a like, subscribe, and get JSB Talks Digital, the vlog, every Monday morning in your inbox. And please do share with your friends. They'd really appreciate it.